Okay, 7 o'clock on the dot. Time to get going. Welcome back, everybody. Once again, share with each other the joy of PDH. Today is the 11th, March 11th, 2026, and we're doing Eutropia the Twice-Favored. So I've been preparing a lot for Shoebox this weekend. I'll be flying out to St. Paul tomorrow morning, and one of the decks I built. I think I have like six like built sleeve decks to loan out, give away while I'm there. One of them is an aura based deck, a green aura based deck. So I've been really kind of enraptured by auras in the last 24 hours or so. And I haven't built this one on stream, and I haven't built this one personally yet. This is a really cool card. This card feels like a rare to me. Very powerful, Eutropia the Twice-Favored. A Simic card, so obviously like it's good. um, but also features the greatest type line in the game, Human Wizard, one of my favorites. But briefly, we'll just go over the card real quick. Blue green 1, 2/2, Human Wizard, legendary creature, Constellation. So whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 counter on a creature, that creature gains flying. This is a card that lets you very easily beat people to death. It just because you cast auras doesn't matter what they are, so you have a lot of room for flexibility and tailoring depending on what you want to be doing. You could play a lot of like removal based auras, right? Like things that tap things down, things that adjust your opponent's creature stats down to 1/1. Give creatures flying to destroy with like a plummet or whatever. Um, we'll be doing less of that. I think removal on your commander is not the greatest place to be, so I will not be using this as commander as a removal magnet, but or a removal dispenser, I guess. We'll probably include like one plummet type effect, one or two, just because the interaction is pretty cool. But by and large, I think what I want to do in a deck like this is just cast auras, put counters on my own creatures, beat people to death with those creatures, and play a lot of cool stuff, play a lot of neat cards in the meantime. There's a lot of neat synergies with this card. And it honestly, it just feels like a rare, to be perfectly frank. Um, it's kind of busted. So we're going to demonstrate that today. And first thing we're going to do is get some lands. This is a 38 or 37. We're going to start at 37. So let's do 19 forest and 18. Oops, need my numlock on 18 island. We'll start there. I don't know if I want mana right or not. We can play like land auras as our ramp package because it'll trigger a commander, which I kind of like. So we'll do like Utopia Sprawl, just like some limited stuff, not a ton. We don't need a ton. Utopia Sprawl, Wild Growth, like the cheap things. Because if you think about it, these are all like 1 mana sorcery speed cards that basically read like put a +1/+1 on a creature and give a flying until end turn. That's like the floor on all of these cards. So any aura we add basically has that text on it, which makes them all amazing. We have Fertile Ground, which is a good one. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head, so I'm going to miss things inevitably. Overgrowth is a great one. Sorry, long day at work. Overgrowth. You know what we'll do? We'll just find them here because I'm not smart. I know it's been a while since I've built a Magic the Gathering Pauper Commander deck. 7 whole days since I've built one publicly. I built some privately though. Don't tell anybody. Aura. Add. Oh, whoops. I don't want rares. Common, please. Order by mana value. Alright, things that actually ramp us. So we got these, we got Fertile Ground. Urban Utopia. Who cares? Not really doing Elvish Guidance. Okay. So like Grafted Growth, New Horizons are good because they have counters. No, I don't give people slot. The decks that I plan on giving away are actually, they're all functional. They all do a thing, and they're all pretty cool. It's Sorry Captain, which we built on stream. Territory Caller, which is a Modern Horizons 3 landfall card. Whenever you landfall, you reveal a top card of your library. If it's a creature, you draw it. On a green deck, we've got what is this card? New Horizons. Worm Coil Larva, which is mono black artifact creature. It's a 3/3. When it dies, you make a 2/1 and a 1/2 worm token. Got Druid of Horns, which is a mono green. Whenever you cast an aura to enchant it, you make a 3/3 beast token. Twin Flame Travelers, which we built on stream, like the double elemental triggers card. And then Dreamshaper Shaman, which is a 6 mana 5/4. On your end step, you get to pay 3 mana, a red and 2 colorless, and sacrifice a thing. And if you do, you get to flip cards off the top of your library until you get a thing and put it on the battlefield. So there's some cool stuff. Some neat cards. I don't really care about like Shelter Area. I guess like Verdant Haven and Dawn's Reflection and Mark Vessel are good too. These are cards that, much like Overgrowth, they essentially like land ores come into two packages. There's the ones that give the land the ability to tap and add a certain amount of mana, and then there are ones that when you tap the land for mana, it adds additional mana. I like the latter a lot better. Dawn's Reflection, Mark Vessel, Verdant Haven. Okay. Reflection, Verdant, Haven, and Market Festival. Alright, this is fine. This is fine. I don't think there's much else. I'd really be more interested in like 2 mana ones, but there's not much. There's some that cantrip, but they don't like ramp us. It just gives you land the ability to tap for mana of any color. So I think that's fine. Could put Glittering Frost, but I don't care. I guess we Nope, 9's fine. 9 is good. Let's sort of this by mana value. Individual spot. Okay, so we got some ramp. That's cool. Let's go and fill out like, I think we're gonna leave like the actual auras last. I want to get like cards, the actual like other stuff in first. So heroic creatures are great. There are a handful, not a ton, but some that I do like Oathsworn and Stronghearted Warrior. Basically, the green heroic creatures from Born of the Gods and whatever, they get 2+1/+1 counters when they become the target of something. Oathsworn's a 3 mana 1/1. Stronghearted Warrior's a 4 mana 2/2. We're gonna play both of them. Get to do like some cool. Whoops, not that one. Not Suggestion Skirmisher. Oathsworn. Gonna do some cool heroic stuff. We can do a bunch of stuff here. And then Staunch Heart. Staunch Hearted Warrior. Wavecrash Titan is one of my favorites. This card feels really unfair when it gets going. Whenever you target it, you get to freeze a thing. It screws people over. And the Warwing Siren is just a 1/3 flyer that grows. It gets a 1/1 counter every time you target it. This card just puts in work. It's just an evasive creature that grows, which is great. We want Gnarlback Rhino. It doesn't have the heroic text, but it has a similar function. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, you draw a card. I'm going to switch this to the common printing because that's what we do. 4 mana 4/4 trample. Card's really good. And then whenever cast target. Maybe that's the templating we want. Just spells that care about when we target. Furious Band Thunderhoof is just kind of expensive, like a 5 mana creature I'm not particularly enthusiastic about. And the cards that care about enchantments. Not enchantments, plural, enchantment singular. We're going to do the auras last, so when I pass by the auras that are great, please refrain from hollering at the screen. Just kind of get the synergistic cards out of the way first. Because there are a fair amount of them. Drake Familiar lets us rebuy an aura. That's pretty cool. Let's put it in there to start. If we have like, basically it lets us get an additional like trigger from Eutropia. It also lets us like get an initial trigger on these. And if there's any that have ETB abilities, like Grafted Growth, for example, we get to take advantage of that. So this seems like a pretty robust card in a deck like this. which I like. Prefer enchantment enters against Muslims on end of turn. Nope. Eerie. Can attack his own type defender. No. Can attack his own type defender. No. No. Not a ton of stuff, huh? Um, there's other like templates that we'll need to find, but Ancestral Mask obviously is the best. Benefactor's picture card and or enchantment card in your hand. I like this card. Benefactor is pretty good. In fact, Crewfix's Insight is another one, but we'll get to that. Broken Fall is fucking sick. So the thing about Broken Fall is that we can just return it to our hand and like reuse it constantly. Basically, you turn it to your hand to regenerate a creature. So let's just you just get to rebuy it over and over again. Really powerful. Really makes our things really hard to kill. Whereas Setessan Oathsworn is not great. Erratic Apparition is a little bit better because it's flying and vigilance. Maybe we'll do that. Let's put in yeah, let's do that. Why not? It's good. Just a really great set of keywords that make me really like it. Instead of a 2-mana 2/1 with nothing, we have a 3-mana 1/3 flying vigilance. It feels a lot better. Crewfix's Insight is awesome. Crewfix's Insight, you look at the top 6 and you get to take 3 enchantments. We're gonna have a lot of those, so I think it'll be good. Nexus Warden. Whenever an enchantment enters, gain 2 life. This card becomes not okay very quickly, and it's a 1/4 with reach, so it blocks really well. And Oakheart Dryads, like, we're gonna play this one. The thing about this card compared to Setessan Oathsworn, which we are definitely not playing, remember the 2-mana 2/1 that I compared this to, this just lets us give anything +1/+1 until end of turn. So, like, if we cast a 1-mana aura, we can put a +1/+1 count. Like, say we enchant this, right? So it's a 1/1, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters. Now it's a 3/3. This triggers can put a counter, can get this +1/+1 until end of turn. Now it's a 4/4. Which kind of piggybacks on the counter and lets us just buff our team a little bit. I think this card's pretty good. Seasonal Rule gets things out of our yard. All these things just kill flying creatures or artifacts or enchantments. Tons of that stuff exists. You have my Enchantress, just a classic. Really elegant card. Just is as big as however many enchantments are on the battlefield. Gets big. The dogs say hello. You know, since I don't know how this card is worded, we're just gonna put Aura Gnarlid in here. Another weirdo. Just a card that'll kill people dead. Gets +1/+1 for each aura on the battlefield, and then if it can't be blocked by creatures with less power, so it's hard to block. Does tons of damage. Just a great one. Just a great one. This is a stupid constellation. A lot of like the common constellation cards are kind of stupid, which is a shame because it's such a cool kind of like mechanical space, I think. Floodtide Serpent can't attack unless you return an enchantment control to an enchantment. So every turn we can return an enchantment to our hand. Perhaps. Cards like this and Drink Familiar really make me want to play auras like Flight of Fancy, like 4-mana draw 2, gives a creature flying. Stuff like that. Things with good ETBs. Target player mills 2. Don't care. Creatures you control can trample. It's pretty good. And we have Brine Giant. Yeah, we'll play Humble Immortals and Brine Giant. This card can... it doesn't seem very impressive at first blush. The play patterns around this card I think are really good. Cards like this in general I really like. Things that are very large bodies, are very, like, you know, cheap. We can play this probably most I mean, let's say we cast this for 3 mana, right? We have a 3 mana 5/6. We just get to play like a giant thing and then double spell most likely, which I think is really attractive. So yeah, I like cards like this. Humble Immortals just gives everything trample. Having access to trample repeatedly is really powerful. Okay. Let's look at Aura. Cards that care about auras. finesse is fun. Let's put an aura finesse here. Just let's swap things around. Play little swapsies. Attach an aura to another thing. That's cool. It's fun, and everybody should be doing it. Bramble Elemental. Whenever it becomes hit with an aura, you put 2 saplings on the battlefield, which is cool. Another really cool card. That's what we do. We play cool cards. Let's see. What else can we do? These are all just auras. Look, not really interested in that right now. I didn't. No. Nyxborn Hydra. That's a great one. Dogs are having fun, if you can't tell. They are making a lot of noises. Ollie's the one that's just the noisiest. He just can't. He can't not. There we go. Like things like Rousing Read, right? Like ETB, draw 2, discard a card, gives a creature 1/1 flying. Says in training, ETB draw a card. We'll do a lot of that stuff, like the ETB draw card stuff. Also like Shimmering Wings and Whip Silk, the things, you know, the cards you can return to your hand and redeploy over and over again should you want to. All that stuff's going to go in. We will get there. So what cards I care about auras? Yeah, there's so many good ones. Okay, so what we got? We got 16 creatures, ain't bad. 2 sorceries. There's also commune with the spirits. Lets us search for top 5 for an enchantment or land, which is good. There's also shoot, what is the name of the card? Oh, commune with the gods. We can play like a handful of cards that dig things out of our yard as well, because the best ways to draw cards, especially when we're dealing with permanents, are things like, or defined cards, I guess. Things like Malevolent Rumble. There's a new one, and Lorwyn. But stuff like this, right? Look at the top 5, put a creature or enchantment in your hand, rest in your graveyard. So we want some things that can pull stuff out of our yard should we want to. There's a card, Rafello's something? Rafello's Gift? Yeah. Reveal any number of green cards. You rebuy an enchantment for each green card you reveal. It's pretty good. Another one, Revive the Shire, is good. Just gets you a permanent. You know, makes a food token. Stuff like this. This one and these. It's good. We can also play Walk with the Ancestors. Yep. Just rebuy permanent, discover 4. Doesn't get any better than that. We're at 72 cards, so we got plenty of room. Let's get a Traxxas Fall. I mentioned earlier that I wanted at least one something like this. 2 mana, it's sorcery. Destroy an artifact, battle, enchantment, or creature flying, which we can give flying on our turn with our enchantments. I'll do 1, and then we'll do Broken Wing. No, we'll do Carnivorous Canopy. Instead of this. Because I do want an instant speed. Is Broken Wings instant speed? Yeah. Just 3 mana, does the work. You know, this one proliferates as well because our commander puts counters on things, so that's good. Let's do a lot of green cards in this deck. Let's do some auras, shall we? Common type aura. Blue, green. Actually, you know what we should do first is Bestow. I missed it. Forgot about that one. I got an expired, but these 2 I like. This one don't super care about. And this one, they just had stats, but this gives reach. Plus they're like reasonably costed, I think. +2/+2 flying and Nyxborn Hydra, so we'll play those. You don't need all of them. comes in handy. It's just like a really flexible card. All right, let's look at just auras now. Aura that enters with an enters ability. So there's a couple that I like a lot here. The first kind of stuff we'll do is like Cradle of Safety, Starlit Mantle, and Airtight Alibi. These are 3 auras that have flash. They each give the thing hexproof until end of turn. This one, these 2 give +1/+1. This gives +2/+2. See, when it enters the battlefield, untap enchanted creature, gains hexproof, gets +2/+2, and can't become suspected. Who cares about that? But you know, a reactive spell to protect your thing, really cool. We also have some Umbras that we can put in here. Eel Umbra is great because it has flash. Snake Umbra is, you know, an old favorite of everybody's. Gives a creature +1/+1 whenever it deals combat damage or deals damage to a player. You draw a card. And then Treefolk Umbra and Snake Umbra. Get those in there. Just things to put on our things to protect them from other things. Just a little insurance policy. Then we can do like Rancor and Talons of Wildwood. This is one that I don't think gets enough airtime. Like Rancor sucks a lot of air out of the room. Where's Rancor? That's up here. So obviously this is like the GOAT, right? 1 mana +2/+0 as trample. When the thing goes to the graveyard, you get to get it back. Talons of Wildwood is a little bit different. It gives +1/+1 in trample. It's 2 mana aura, but you can return it out of your graveyard to your hand for 3 mana, which gives you a little bit more flexibility if you're milling a bunch of stuff, which is kind of like what we're doing with, you know, Community of the Gods, Benefactor Ronus, Kruphix Insight. We are milling a fair amount of cards. So this can go to the yard. We can put it there safely, rebuy it later. Plus, if the thing dies with us on the stack, we don't lose it like we would otherwise with Rancor. They just complement each other really well, I think. What else? Oh, these are ones that enter, right? With enters abilities, yeah. Cartouche Strength. Just a great removal spell. When it enters, you get to fight something. It gives the creature +1/+1 in trample. Just good stuff there. Good clean living. Shielding Plaques. These 3. And actual plays Silken Strength as well because it has flash. But like Stress Training, Sheltering Boughs, and Shielding Plaques all enter and draw a card. This gives +1/+0 trample. This gives +1/+3, so a little more defensive. And this one gives hexproof. Doesn't have flash, but it replaces itself, which is great. Especially since we can like rebuy things with Floodtide, Serpent, and Drake Familiar. So let's put those 3 in there. So Tessin, Tactics, or Training, sorry. Sheltering, Bouge, and then Shielding, Plaques. Silken Strength I like. Also untaps a thing, so like you can do some really tricky stuff with Silken Strength. Just 2 mana flash. When it enters, untap the enchant permanent, gives it +1/+2 in reach. So it does the good stuff, fights the good fight. Where I get Starlit Mantle. There's a lot of things like this, you know, tap a permanent, doesn't untap during controls and tap step. We can play some of those. We'll play 1 or 2. Warbriar Blessing is another great one. ETB, fight something basically. Gives the thing +0/+2. Just a good card. Just a good one. 5 mana aura. I don't care about 5 mana auras. It's too many mana. Too many manias. Where's Rousing Reed? Where is it? Is it not here? Is the wording different on Rousing Reed? Could it be? Oh no, here it is. I just missed it. We'll also play like Cartouche of Knowledge, I guess. Play Mesmerizing Dose. Oops. is a good one. Taps a thing and you proliferate. You know, proliferating is like a decent like size energy. I'll select the printing here. And I'm curious. Let's see. Let's get trample and indestructible. We'll play Guiltless Embrace. I like that one. That's cool. You know what we'll also do is we'll play Moldervine Cloak as Dredge. So we can just keep getting it back. +3/+3 is big game. Putting +3/+3 on something, that's what we call making a threat. You know? Oh, and let's get Shimmering Wings and Web Silk. You know, just very simply 1-mana auras that we can cast, then return, then cast, then return, and just kind of like pump a ton of mana into stuff. I like that. That's always fun. Nothing else is really, I'm not really finding anything particularly interesting here. Okay, so we've got what? We've got room for 2 more cards. We've got 32 enchantments. Not counting 1, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. It's not bad. We can find like a solid 2 more though. Maybe we'll just cut this Walk with the Ancestors. It's a little flashy. We'll keep like Revive the Shriner Fellow's Gift, I think are fine. Alright, let's just get some general purpose auras here. I'm sure there's like some really cool stuff. Oh yeah, Ancestral Mask. I forgot about that one because it doesn't have a cool ability. Just makes your thing gigantic. Can't forget that one. Just go through the list. There's only a couple hundred, so we'll go through those pretty quickly here. Aqueous Form's a decent one. Force Adaptation. Like a lot of these are pretty good. Water Gas. Nah. Oh, Wingspan Strike's really good, actually. Just having... Oh, I kind of like this too. Bestial Bloodline and Wingspan Strike. Things that we can just like pull off the battlefield and redeploy, I just find a lot of value in. Especially when they just have like, just good on their own. Like 1 mana gives your thing +1/+1 and flying, and we can bounce it to our hand if we want to. Same thing with like Bestial Bloodline. Same thing like we were talking about with Vines of Wildwood, just an aura that we can mill over and then just rebuy safely. I like that stuff. Maybe we'll play that. Not really gonna play Favor the Overbeing. Not really playing any multicolored creatures. I don't really play these cards. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. You know, don't really need to play a ton of these like unblockability auras. I mean, our commander gets everything flying, so it's mostly trivial, honestly. Beastmaster's Mage Mark is interesting. Or what's the other Mage Mark? The blue one. We'll play the blue Mage Mark. I'll talk about unblockability. That's a killer. I love me an Elephant Guide, that's for sure. Elephant Guide is dope. Flash, +2/+2 and trample. Like, I mean, we have some flash stuff. I don't think it's necessary to like go hard on the flash auras. Here you go. Influence. Creatures you control that are enchanted against one can be blocked except by creature with Defender. The great thing about Eutropia is that she doesn't require us to dump all the auras on her. We can put them on wherever we want. And we have a lot of things to do it with, so that's pretty cool. Might play that one as our 60th card. Just want to make sure. Like that, like Psychic Impetus is pretty good too. Just casting on our own thing, honestly. I like that. key basically being just to, scry 2 every turn. Makes our thing bigger, which is always good. There's Flight of Fancy. We're doing like a whole bunch of bouncing our own stuff, right? We've got the Drake Familiar, we've got Floodtide Serpent. We also got a lot of things that just like, draw a card. Is paying 4 to draw 2 cards that much better than paying, like 2 mana to draw 1 card every turn? I don't know. I'm not that smart. I just know how to have fun. Fun. You know what? Let's play Flight of Fancy. I like me a Flight of Fancy. We're gonna do it. I want a Flight of Fancy. Okay, so it's 35, whereas 18 creatures is, low for me, but what are you gonna do? Let's get some lands. I'm not gonna go super hard on lands here. Just gonna get like, Broker's Hideout, Command Tower. I don't really care about a lot of this stuff. It's gonna be a couple duels and it should be fine. Yeah, like this one. Playable Palace. The Study Halls, classics. I'm a big apologist for those cards. Study Hall, Tangled Islet, maybe the last one. I don't really care about these. It's not compelling enough to make me want to care. Yeah, I don't need like 100 tap lands. Like, mana's pretty easy in this format, to be perfectly honest. If you're playing a 2-color deck, you need to cut what, 8 cards. So what's our balance like? Yeah, pretty heavy green. So we'll cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3. We'll do that. Nah. Boom. Boom. All right. That seems decent, right? Let's take it for a spin. We'll see what happens. A lot of lands and an Oathsworn. I mean, sure. Our odds can only go up drawing meaningful cards from this point on, right? Or, so we thought, let's just get this Broker's Hideout out the way now. We've got an island. Next turn. Yeah, an Umbra. Alright. We'll play Command Tower. And then we'll just get this Oathsworn out here so we can set up a turn where we like cast this, buff, 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 and go big. That's kind of good too. What we'll do is we'll just filter through Study Hall. We'll scry 1. That's not very good right now. Alright. And now we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Cast Dawn's Reflection here. And we can go tap this. Oh, we have a trigger here, right? So we'll put a counter on this. She has flying, and then we'll cast this on. Actually, yeah, we'll cast this over here. Gets 2 counters from, from the trigger. Gets full plus 1 for Spider Umbra. This trigger will put a counter on. We'll put a counter on this. Why not? So now we'll just attack for 8 in the air. D's. And we have this too. So we go like that, and we can, 1, 2. Let's get Starlit Mantle. Put a counter here. Get us flying. Put that here so it gets 2 more counters. Just have like, we're just attacking for a bunch. Do a ton of lands, but that's what it is. This is a little bit better. Alright, so Broke's Hideout will go. We'll get a forest. Alright, that's fine. And then next turn we'll cast our commander. Boom. And now we'll cast the Rhino. And now now we've got some stuff to do. So like we can start here and cast the Snake Umbra on our Narbeck Rhino. Trigger here will put a counter on the Rhino. Give it flying, so it gets what's from this. So it's a 6/6 flying trample Snake Umbra creature. Then we go to combat and attack. We draw a card for the Snake Umbra. Deal combat damage, draw another card. So like now, if they try and kill it, we can just go like Starlit Mantle, draw another card. Put a counter on this. Why not? Because this thing's already huge. It gets +1/+1 from this. And next turn. Whew. Yeah, cards like this really just like juice the deck. Like, it's pretty wild. So we can just 1, 2, 3, 4, and fight a fancy Eutropia. Give this flying. So basically we do this so that we can give Eutropia flying while still using our trigger over here. So we'll go 1, give it flying. This now is flying. We can draw 2 cards. Yeah. Kind of want to put in, maybe you can cut a land. Like, just cut one of these. Actually, I'll cut one of those. And maybe find like another creature. What's some cards that like synergize well with enchantments? I think I already Googled the actual word enchantment, right? It's, we already looked through all those cards. It's just something I missed. Kind of want another creature though, if I'm being perfectly frank. Turn an enchantment, go to his hand. If you do, gain 3 life. No. Maybe what we could do is like Font of Fertility is pretty good. It's pretty okay. Just wonder if we can look for like other things like becomes target. Like if there's something that gives us bonuses for targeting it with stuff. We don't need more ways to like more things to target with auras, honestly, but synergy is good, right? It's good. Isn't really returning many good options, which is fine. Yeah, let's just Constellation once and for all here. Yeah, these are good. These cards suck, just like I thought. Okay. What about Devotion? Not that compelling. Yeah, let's look at this one more time. So there's a couple things. Let me see, what do we already have? So we already got like kind of the big stuff here. Like what? Eerie, just these two, yeah. Welcome, Bill. Yeah, let's go back to the Cards of Caravan Enchantments and start here again. Just kind of like want one more creature, I think. Some of these are just like annoyingly not good. Cards that bargain are interesting just because you have so many enchantments and bargain cares about sacrificing enchantments. I guess we could also do like roll tokens. What stuff do we do with roll tokens? Nocturne's interesting. Curse of the Werefox is interesting too. That's a cool removal spell. Alright, let's cut this. We'll cut Commune. Yeah. I'll keep these ones because they can get two things. But this. Alright, so we got it for 3 cards. I like Curse of the Werefox. That's cool. Basically, you know, lets us fight a thing and then get a trigger. Also, Ferocious Werefox ain't bad. It's a good creature. I also kind of like Living Lectern. You draw a card and put a sorcerer roll on something. So whenever it attacks, you scry one. That's pretty cool. Or Reticulanologist makes a hexproof, or not a hexproof, a ward aura. Probably don't care too much about that. I want to get up to 20 creatures. Let's get up to 20 creatures. Creature. Start at the beginning. It's the thing, when so much of my brain space is devoted to remembering cards, I forget so many others. I just forget all of them, you know? I don't really want to care about, like, I'm not going to dip too much. I don't want to do, like, a whole bunch of +1/+1 counter stuff. We have a couple proliferate cards, which is cool. But we're not going to go so hard. There's only so much space in the deck, you know? That's kind of the thing. You have to kind of pick a lane and really want to deal with the aura section more than anything else. I'm not going to do any of the whatchamacallit. Oh, what other enchantment creatures are there? Creature, enchantment. Oops. Calamity Prowler I actually like quite a bit, if I'm being honest. There's some good ones here. I guess, like, Summon Fat Chocobo is pretty cool, huh? That's pretty cool. These cards are pretty cool. Alright, so we got those. Yeah, let's play the Fat Chocobo. That's a cool card. Gives all other things trample for 3 turns and makes a Chocobo token. Ooh, we're Tails of Master Seshiro. We'll play Tails. Tails is cool. Because, like, yeah, +1/+1 counter and vigilance on stuff seems really good. I actually like it better than the Chocobo, if I'm being perfectly honest. And then what? I'm at 100. Do I want to find room for a Calamity Prowler? I guess I don't need to, right? And Tails of Master Seshiro is like our 20th creature, so that's fine. Maybe we can cut one more aura, or one more enchantment here. Probably got the Burden Haven. Alright, we'll throw in a throw in a Calamity Prowler. Why not? Why not? Make it even harder to block. 20 creatures, boom, roasted. Alright, let's go. Alright, so we got 2 forests, some other stuff, sure. Perfect. Couldn't draw up any better myself. Just gonna pass through the first few turns, which, you know, whatever. Got our commander out there. And now we can do, we have an one aura. Let's just get like Stone Charter Warrior out there. We'll just start setting up. Not doing a whole lot, but setting up here. Now what we can do, let's see. Go 1, 2, 3, cast the Gnarlid. Then we can like Warbriar Blessing and remove something. So we'll attach this here. This gets 2 counters. So it's a 4/6 that we're going to fight something with. Then I also have a trigger here. We'll put it here and get this flying because this has +1/+1 for each aura on the battlefield, and if it has anything with power less than this creature can't block it. So we'll put that here. Gets +1/+1 for this, so it's a 4/4. Then we'll just like fight a thing and rumble in. It's pretty good. We'll do this. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Cast Oathsworn. And then let's like Mesmerizing Dose their thing. So we'll put a counter here and give this flying, and then we'll proliferate. So we'll go 1, doot. This gets another counter from this. Doot. We'll put this on their creature. Now we're just attacking for a lot more damage. And this has a trigger as well, right? So we can... Alright, did it here. So this flies, but whatever. Oh, Wingspan Stride is perfect. So now... let's just cast the Calamity Prowler. Enchantment trigger here. We'll give this flying again, and then... actually what we'll do is we'll remove a counter and reset Prompt Notice to 3/3. And then we'll put the Wingspan Stride on this. Oh no, we'll put the counter over here. And then we'll put the Wingspan Stride on here. So this gets 2 counters. Another trigger here, so we'll buff this. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 7, 7. And now we're attacking for this many damages. Like these fly. This is huge, can't be blocked, and this is just a 5/7. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Oof, no lands. Alright. This is good. Don't have any like enchantments yet, but that's okay. Draw for turn. There's an enchantment. Yeah, this kind of sucks. Alright, this is a little bit better. These hands are all very underwhelming. I know our deck's not that bad. Hold on a second. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know which to do. Lots of 3-mana stuff. Let's... how can we fix this? Is there anything else we can do here to... be doing stuff? Not really. Yeah, maybe it's just, I don't know. No, it's the children that are wrong. Alright, here we go. Alright, this is better, I guess. Do Corner's Keep, let's just get that out the way. Look at our forest, and we'll cast our Utopia Sprawl. I have to get it here. So we'll do this. Cast Utopia Sprawl, naming blue. Tap this for 2. Put Fertile Ground on this forest too. So that's 3 mana when we tap it now. And now we've got 5 mana. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Cast Eutropia. We'll go like this. So trigger, +1/+1, counter, flying. Now it's hexproof ETB, draw a card. That's not what I was looking for, but whatever, we'll hold this for now. We just need enough, like 1 more land. Let's just get some stuff going here. So we'll play Siren, because now like War Briar Blessing is better, so we'll put it here. Heroic Trigger, so it's a 2/6. Put a counter here, so it's a 3/7. Fight something. Yeah, this is a bummer. We're not getting any lands. This is just like a really unfortunate series of draws here. Do I need the 37th land? It can't be that, right? I'm gonna do it anyway. Gonna do it anyway. Actually, we'll cut this, like that. And we'll cut a dumb card. Cut Aura Finesse. Not really do anything with that. This deck plays at super sorcery speed, but I love that. Sorcery speed is underrated. More decks should play at sorcery speed. I know the conventional wisdom is that you want to leave all your mana open to interact at every point in the game. However, it sucks and it's boring. And it's just annoying. It's just annoying having to constantly ask people if they want to respond to everything that you're doing. The decisions are much more interesting if you have to make them and commit resources to your turn. It's the simple truth about it. All right, I'm gonna start here. Not in a rush, so we're just gonna do some tap lands, and then we'll get our guy out. All right, and now I've got some options. So we have a Leafcrown Dryad. We can just cast this, I think, because what else do we have? We've got, yeah, we'll just cast Leafcrown Dryad. Trigger, we'll put a counter here, and we'll attack. I don't really need to cast any of this stuff right now. All right. So let's start with Cartouche of Knowledge on Eutropia. Why not? So it gets +1/+1. Trigger, we'll put a counter here. This gets flying. ETB draw a card here. It's disappointing. We'll cast Rancor on this. Counter here. And then I guess we can, so this becomes a 5/3. It's like we're attacking for 10 in the air this turn, that ain't bad. As long as we can hold these for now. And then what we can do is just do like, I kind of just want to play out the Hydra. Just, X equals 5. Oops. Why not? ETB will give this thing flying again. Attack for 11. I guess we don't need like, yeah, this is kind of tough. Maybe you don't need all this Market Festival stuff. Like the 3 manas are a little more interesting. Yeah, we'll cut. Let's go Market Festival. Why not? And we'll put in. We'll just do like something big, like a Lorraine Revealed. It's probably a good idea, right? Because it can get us a land if we wanted to. We can also just draw 3 cards, which honestly we're probably going to want to do a handful, some amount of the time. Do we? Maybe I don't care about Broken Wings. Yeah, I don't care about shooting things out of the sky. I really just don't. I really just do not. We'll cut Dawn's Reflection as well, and we'll play a couple. We'll play Malevolent Rumble, and we'll play, what's the new one? Mill, it's a green card. Common, what is this card? Release date, Midnight Tilling. this is like kind of the thing about why these cards are better than Commune with the Gods, because you can get any permanent. So you can get these can get us lands too. That way we can probably go down one and play cash grab as well. Okay. Yeah, mill four, put a permanent into your hand. So they can get us lands, they can get us enchantments, they can get us creatures. I like that better. Probably cut Benefaction. I mean, no, we'll keep that. Okay, that seems decent. Just gonna try a bunch of stuff here because the deck definitely works, but the hands have been kind of clunky. All right, let's see. What's like the first passively playable thing I can see? This one's fine. All right, let's start with this broker's hideout here. I would draw a card too. Let's get an island. All right. 2 mana, can't do much. All right, Eutropia. I actually should have done this before, right? And so now we'd untap, play that. Now we can play Eutropia. So a couple things we can do. We can like do monster roll and this, or we can just like play Shielding Plaques, or we can cast Uncharted Warrior, which is what I kind of want to do actually. Because loading this thing up is gonna be pretty sick. And that's good too. And then once you get more auras going, we'll just like dump out a really cheap Brine Giant. All right, so a couple things. We'll do 1, 2. We'll put the Talons on this. So it gets 2 +1/+1 counters, +1 from this. We'll put a counter on Eutropia. Then we'll go 1, 2, 3. We'll just put Shielding Plaques on this too. 2 more counters. Now it's hexproof. We'll draw a card when it enters. It's pretty great. Put another counter on Eutropia. And now we're attacking for a bunch of damage. Great, next turn. So, Ancestral Mask on Eutropia. So trigger, and this gives +4/+4 right now. And we'll just like put this on an adventure and put a roll token on this too, a monster token. So it gets +1/+1 and trample. And when that enters, we will give this flying because we've already given this flying. And now it's +6/+6, so it's 12/12. So we're just attacking for a bajillion damage. And then this lets us do even more stuff. So like now what we can do is we've got 4 auras, so we can cast like a 3-mana giant. Or we can cast this, return it, and then cast it again for 2 more triggers. Or we can cast the Rhino and cast this. Just like a lot of things we can do. Once we have like to 5-6 mana, I kind of just want to get this big guy out there. This big boy. He's huge. He's huge. And then we can go Shimmering Wings on it. You know, we'll... Actually, what we can do is Shimmering Wings on this. Even though he's flying. Then put a counter here, and then... Oh, no. We'll put a counter here. Now this is flying, this is flying. Giant, like lethal damage. And then like next turn we can, or end of turn we can remove this, right? And then we untap. And if everyone's not already dead, we can like put wings on this. Just give this a counter because we can. These both have trample, so who cares? We can just play Malevolent Rumble, see what we pull. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just get Expand Stride, why not? Let's go graveyard. Put Wingspan Stride on this, give this flying. Now everything is like lethal basically. Okay. I'm satisfied. It's 8 o'clock. We gotta go. Like, when you draw lands, this card's insane. All right. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate everybody. I'm really happy with this deck. This commander's awesome. Um, the RNG shuffler was giving us some issues, but we overcame in that last game and drew decent playable cards. And you see, you don't need much. You just need like some auras and like a creature, and then you just kind of become an insurmountable threat over the course of like 2 or 3 turns. Very very powerful stuff. Even though we only got to see like Malevolent Rumble, like this type of card in action, one time towards the end there, like you see how that kind of card is like pretty good. He can get us like an aura, he can get us a creature, he can get us a land. I think that's what we're missing like originally is the ability to like draw these cards and like find what we need. But all said and done, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. Link will be in the description as always. Below that, you're going to find a link to the list that has all of the decks that we've built together, all of the PDH that we've shared in over the last year and change. And then below that, you're going to find links to Translifeline and Trevor Project. So if you are able to donate to those organizations, I recommend that you do so. Or even better, if you know a trans person in your life that could use an extra couple dollary dues, do that instead. But if you have the money, do with it, you know, good stuff. Do with it good stuff. That makes sense, right? Help the trans people out. So that said, I'll be at Shoebox this weekend. I know I'm going to see a number of you guys there. Bill, for example, Bobby will be there. A number of the Midwest players will be there. Springer, Ethan, Mags of the Jank, Clay, etc., etc. So I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys there. For those of you who will not be at Shoebox, I will see the rest of you here next week where we build another deck together and have a wonderful, delightful PDH fill time. So it's 8:02. I've gone super long, longer than I've ever gone before in my life. So we're going to call it here. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.